Hi there and welcome to another episode of The Realtor with me, Karanja Daniel. Today we take a different perspective and look at the various aspects of interior designing, be it for your living spaces, whether residential or commercial spaces. On the show we have a guest who will explain to us in details on how they go about it and how you can get your own interior design done on your property. Welcome to the show. Well, today it's all matters interiors and how you can change your living spaces or even commercial spaces to make them look better, feel better, and even be more functional. Well, we're joined by an expert in the industry to give us more insight into interior designing. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure to have you here. Kindly introduce yourself and tell us what you do.
My name is Stephen Minor. I'm the founder of Knit and Fit. And we are an interior design firm, which we do design and build. So we can take any project as contractors as well.
All right.
Yes.
Quite interesting. What is interior design? Maybe we can start from there for our viewers to have a better understanding of this particular concept.
Interior design is, I would say, it's the art of transforming a space to the desire of the client. That is taking in mind about the functionality, what suits that space, and just making sure that it's not just habitable. Yeah? There's the ambience that comes with it. Yeah.
So basically, if I go to a place, be it any property, the look, feel, ambience, and functionality is basically the interior designer's work. All right. How does interior design get itself into the construction industry or into the property industry? How did it come up?
First of all, the interior designer has to think like the end user, well as looking at the client's desire. So it's not just about saying, I have this space and I have fully furnished it. No, you have to think, for the person who is coming here, what would they like?
Not just a roof on their head.
Exactly. So that's where the interior designer comes, to make sure the place, it's a space you can stay for longer hours. And in fact, most places right now, even at the work spaces, yeah, people are going with a work and play environment. Whether it's corporate, whether it's a serious industry, they have that element of work and play, so that the workers are motivated while working in that space.
Let's talk about the Kenyan industry and its appreciation for interior design. Are Kenyans more accepting the trend in interior design and accepting the use of professionals such as you?
Unfortunately, many people think they're interior designers. Yeah.
Guilty.
And just because they have an app called Pinterest and they know I like this, I like this. However, there's a downfall to it whereby you'll see someone constantly changing what they want and without thinking about, is it a hazard? Yeah. Is it practical? Yeah. But people like things and everything, and they want it all in a space. And they forget that when we are going to a space, after you give us the brief of what you would like, we have to look at something called space planning. So I cannot give you a quote and tell you I will transform your space without first doing something we call a proposal. So a proposal is where we come up with a 3D render or a mood board, and we tell you this is what you should expect when it's done. And the reason why we've gone this direction is because, and then we'll give you the reasons, and from there we can give you the drawings. Those drawings will help you when you're buying furniture. You know, it's a 360. Yeah. And then once we're done with that, we give you a quotation, and if we are able to, you know, settle on a figure, then you can always work backwards.
All right.
Yeah, to making sure it's achieved.
I like something that you've mentioned, that most of us think we are interior decorators. There's a lot of trend of do-it-yourself, DIY, that is quite common. Is it conflicting with your profession when individuals want to do it themselves and they do not understand maybe the functionalities or the hazards that come with certain items?
I would say there's nothing wrong with any DIYs, yeah? In fact, I love them. We're looking at, I'm passionate about interior.
Yes.
Self-taught.
Uh-huh.
Yeah? But I still need to work with an architect, an engineer, an interior designer who we work together, and a project manager. That's my team. So it's not just about having a very nice, cozy space. No, there's a lot that goes into it. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's say a client has approached you, depending on the project they have. Kindly run us down through the process that you take them through in more detail, as you had earlier mentioned.
So we'll meet the client on site, and then the first thing that we'll start with, before measuring and anything, we'll sit down with the client to understand what is their idea about the space. What do they really want? So after that, we will tell the client, what suits for the space. That professionalism comes in, whereby we tell the client, okay, fine, we know you want to have a washroom at this space, but it's not practical. We know you want, or rather you'd like, to use this material because it looks good, but it's not practical to have it because of maintenance and the longevity of the furniture and whatnot.
Yes.
So after that brief, we get back to the client with a proposal. So the proposal can only be done, it can be within 3 days to a week. That proposal is what the client will pay for. It can be 3D renders.
Sort of a video or something.
Well, 3D, just images of the same space, but now the final blueprint in detail.
Okay.
Yeah, where you have the drawings and you have images of how it will look like when it's done. So after that brief, we get back to the clients with a proposal. So the proposal can only be done, it can be within 3 days to a week. That proposal is what the client will pay for. It can be 3D renders.
Sort of a video or something.
And you have images of how it will look like when it's done. Then, if the client does not have the luxury of time to say, I can wait for a week to do the 3D renders, or the design concept rather, we will always propose something we call a mood board. So a mood board is where we come up with images and explain why we are going that direction. Then from there, we'll have a meeting with the client, do the presentation, and if the client likes, then they can always tell us, kindly change this or add this. We refine it, we have another meeting, and after that, then we can do a quotation.
Thank you for that. Do interior design differ when it comes to residential spaces and commercial spaces?
Yeah, they do. They do. You have to think, you have to treat each space for its different function. Yeah, like I would say, like an office setup, for example. I have to think about soundproofing at the meeting spaces. I have to think about their brands. How do I really maximize on their brand when all the interior is done? I have to think about the space plan. How many staff can we have in this particular space? does that interior design speak something about them? Yeah. As opposed to going to another space where, like a club or a restaurant. Yeah.
Yes.
So there you're looking at, you need the music. You don't need to be too loud. You need the ambience. You really need to speak more with accessories and whatnot, wood, and so many more.
All right.
You also have to think about if it's a residential, then I have to think like the end user. What are the hazards to a child in that residential space when I'm working? How do I get natural light to that house? You know, how do I make sure it's very cozy, yeah, and warm? You know, do I use woods? It's different. So I can't really say the same way I use an interior design concept for a commercial area or space is the same way I'll use it for a residential area. They're all different in their own right.
There's something you've mentioned, especially for companies or corporates,
Yes.
about their brand being seen, their visibility, and of course their workers being in a comfortable space. All these elements, I would say, tend to appraise the look and the look and feel of the company. Would you say that interior design appreciates or takes the brand of any company or corporate to a notch higher?
Yes, it does. When the brief is clear and my team get to understand what the client wants, we don't just go and do a very nice, proposal with a good, furniture and whatnot. Yeah, we have to go deeper and study the company. We have to know what are they all about. What is that message when you're walking into that space? It's like seeing this, if I may use brand colors. Yeah, they speak a lot. If you see there's a green, you'll see and you'll be like, this is Safaricom green. Yeah.
True.
Now that green can be executed in so many ways, but the furniture that I'll put there, the color code that I'll paint my walls, basically, and how I'll make sure at the end of the day, we don't go away from the brand colors. So I would say it really goes along because I will think ahead and to know when I'm doing this space, I have to make sure I have put one of their brand images, or rather the branding has to be well thought of. Yeah.
All right. Well, I think the viewers have had a lot about interior design, and I wish that we would show them some of the spaces you've done. I believe we have a restaurant/bar to see, and also a showroom, furniture showroom to see.
Yeah.
All right. Well, viewers, when we come back, this is what we're going to see: interior design in a restaurant/bar, and of course in a furniture.
You are watching TV47, the home of untold stories. Usiyakubalie maumivu ya misuli kukatiza ratiba yako. Kaluma Pain Balm ni dawa ya kusugua iliyotengenezwa kutoka kwa miche maalum ili kutuliza maumivu ya misuli. Kaluma Pain Balm. Shhh. Maumivu yakizidi, pata ushauri wa daktari. You are watching TV47, the home of untold stories.
Well, welcome back, viewers. We are now in a well-designed space, which our professional, the interior designer, Steve, will give us more details about this area. Tell us where we are, Steve.
So this is a high-end bar and restaurant. It's at the rooftop of Restaurants Plaza, 9th floor. And when we were making this space after the brief, of course, with the client, we were looking for a space that is actually a pleasure place, a space of business and pleasure.
Pleasure.
Yes.
That's a new term that I'm liking. Business
and pleasure.
and pleasure.
So it's a space that you can have a business meeting, it's a space that you can also come and, after a long day, come and chill out, just relax. And you wanted someone to just come here and forget about their worries.
That's a major feature of this particular space. There's a large, I wouldn't even call it a window, it's a window wall stretching all the way from one side to the end.
Exactly.
And giving a view of, I think, the entire city from this side.
Yes.
It
was a rooftop with nothing. So we were able to build with cranes to what you're actually seeing right here.
Wow. So this space was basically a rooftop. Nothing on it, just empty space.
Just empty space.
And you designed it into this beautiful space.
Well, we'll take all the credits. I have a team that we work together with. And I challenge them to do what we haven't done before. There's one thing that I don't like doing is repetitive designs or copying. So I'll always come out, or rather we'll always come up with very unique designs for each specific space.
Nice. Yes. Tell us about the zones in this.
So we wanted a place where when you walk in, the main bar counter is inviting, and it's the first thing you see.
Right behind us.
Yes. So, and it's long, it's L-shaped, and we wanted to zone the whole area all the way to the smoking zone. There's a smoking zone right there.
Which is just out of the balcony.
Exactly, for someone who would like to have that, fresh air. We also wanted to have a sports lounge, especially for the fans who, Formula One fans or football fans,
yes.
Even, yeah. So we divided it, and you actually see the levels we've raised that are higher than others, and basically we also figured instead of having the round tables everywhere, remember we actually had our local guys do it, all the furniture there. Yeah. We wanted to have the long tables for people who come, their colleagues from work, or just friends, family, and they can have their own long table. Looking in exactly
dining area to a certain extent.
Looking and putting in factor that right now we have COVID in all. You can be sure they can easily space it.
What are your final thoughts on a club/restaurant/lounge that you would advise future owners or entrepreneurs to look into when thinking about interior design?
It all starts with who are you targeting. If you're able to think about the end user, that's where it all begins.
Well, thank you for that. Well, viewers, this was our first location. We're about to go to our second location to see the interior design on a different business environment. Let's go and see it. I'm sitting in quite a comfortable space right now, looking like your own sitting room, but you may be fooled today that this is actually a show house for furniture. Steve, tell us where we are.
This is the ground floor of SIGNET House, and it's a furniture store. And thank you for having us.
The design, the layout, the setup might fool one to think that we're actually in a house and very comfortably seated.
Yes.
In the sitting area of the sitting lounge. What was the idea or thought process behind such an interior design?
The client wanted to make it as homely, as cozy as possible. And when you sit here, you can actually envision yourself at home.
Yes.
So we're selling, or rather the client is selling the furniture, but we have to accessorize the walls. Again, to give you an idea of what you can do in your house as well.
With your own space.
Exactly.
This is something that will make the client want to even buy more from the furniture store.
Exactly.
Alright.
Yes.
The sitting area looks marvelous. We can see some other spaces around us. For example, the dining area. A table set up there with all the seats around it, a chandelier light hanging from it. Is it the same idea also here to make the client feel at home, or rather, what their home might look like?
Exactly. So now, if you look at different spaces in this furniture store, rather, you'll find that for the dining area, we've shown you different dining setups. For the bedroom, we've shown you different setups, both for kids and, for the master bedroom. And that was a challenge. How do we make it as homely as possible? By adding partitions and making sure we are also adding screens so that you can have so many mini rooms all under one roof.
And this right here is an example of partition.
Yes.
It's not an actual wall, but an idea of what your home will look like with the whole wall behind your seats.
Yes.
All right. The whole idea makes it look or have an ambience. Is it likely to make the clients believe the same ambience will be in their spaces with the commercial or residential?
Exactly.
Well, if you thought this is impressive, wait until Steven shows us the basement.
It's a basement parking.
Uh-huh.
Well, we did have enough space upstairs,
Yes.
and we needed to showcase the furniture here. So the challenge here was basically to convert this basement parking into a furniture store,
Uh-huh.
right?
Yes.
So as you can see there, you can see the pipes, the
Some
water
of the
pipes.
drainage pipes are
Yes.
still existing.
So what we did, we just added a few. This we call it a screen
Uh-huh.
in the interior. So it's just to divide from one space to another.
Perhaps this is
Yeah.
your room to a
It's
dining
a
area.
screen partition.
All right.
Yes.
So, what was the idea or the concept behind renovating this parking area, which completely doesn't look like it,
Yeah.
into this show area?
So first of all, this is a high-end client who expects nothing but the best. Yeah. So as much as we're selling furniture, it has to match the ambience of the room. So the first thing was to accessorize and make it as homely as possible. So when you look at the brochure, yeah,
Yes.
you can see it's actually the same seats. Yes.
Indeed, it is.
Yeah, so we accessorized it, did tiling, the painting, did the lighting, and here we are.
Actually, in front of us to
Yes.
make it feel like the way a home would actually feel.
Exactly.
And this enhances the business. You know, when a client comes in, they really feel, wow,
Yes.
this is not even a showroom. This is my house. This is
This
really
is
my
my
house.
house.
Look and feel.
Yes.
All right. Would you say this enhances their business opportunities, redesigning or working on the interior of your business to make it look as good? For example, for furniture shop, as this to make it look as good as this.
It does. It does by all. Picture this, yeah? If you want to sell this couch and you want to sell this carpet, how better than to put everything you're selling in one setup, and then hopefully whoever will be seated in that space can actually feel at home and say, you know what, out of all the things that I've seen, this seat will go with the colors I've put in my house. This carpet will actually match. And they can even say, I want this setup as it is. We've already done everything for them. Yeah?
Wow.
Yes.
So it even increases your chances of selling more products than
Exactly.
you would have done.
Exactly.
What a big advantage of interior designing. The spaces look so real, so fathomable.
Yeah.
Let's take an example of one of the bedrooms, the kids' bedroom.
Yeah.
Bright colors, appropriate furniture. It gives the ambience of an actual bedroom the way it will look like.
That's the thing. We want the client who is buying the furniture, yeah, to also have an idea of how they can accessorize the house. Remember, the client here is not selling this or this. They're selling the couch. But you've given the client an idea of how you can use available interior designs and accessories to match our theme, which we've already set up from one setup to another setup. And then with international brands like this international brand of furniture, you find that they want, if you go to Dubai and you find their store, it's the same as the one in Turkey. It's the same as the one in South Africa. So that's a whole concept.
Standards
International
are maintained.
standards, and it's the same. Yes.
Right. What are some of the challenges that you encountered specifically for this particular project that you would say were quite something towards your completion of the project?
The biggest challenge was the drainage. The drainage on Parklands Road, yeah,
Yes.
for a long time has been a menace. So making sure that this space, which has valuable items,
That can
never
be destroyed by
floods
water.
ever. That's the first thing. So there's the waterproofing that you have to make sure you put airtight, solutions on each wall, in the corners. And also, what we did when we were tiling this space, we had to make sure there's drainage. And it's well done. Yes.
Wow, it's hard to imagine or even picture this being a former basement to looking this beautiful with all the design that has taken place. What's your last parting shots? Upcoming designers, interior designers, first of all. How would you, what's your words of wisdom for them?
Never stop. Start now. If you have the passion, don't do it for the money. If you have the passion, the business will come. And you do it professionally, and you work with professionals, there's nothing that you can't do. Start now. That is the one thing that I would tell them. And also, challenges are good. You come to a space like this, it's dark and you have to figure out the lighting, you have to figure out, or if it's floods, you have to figure out the flow, you have to put order to a space. So challenges are good. So I would tell them to embrace any challenge when working and doing this art.
All right, that's for you future interior designers. Well, lastly, your parting shot or your advice to clients, any customer, be it residential, commercial, who wants good finishes and doesn't know or would learn more information about interior designers.
First of all, we, as Neat and Fit, we are one-stop shop. So instead of you deal or a client deals with a plumber, an electrician, a painter, a tiler, we are one-stop shop. And what I would say, there's nothing as good as that convenience of knowing. If you deal with an interior design company, they are one-stop shop. They will help you in sourcing for the accessories, the furniture and everything. They will implement. Everything is documented. That is what I can say. If you get the right partner, you're good.
You're good to go.
Yeah.
Your home or your commercial space will be as wonderful as you thought it would be.
Exactly.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Steve, for coming through, allowing us to share your world with our viewers, and I'm sure right now they know a bit more about interior design and have an idea as to how to make their spaces much more wonderful and better for living or for business.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Well, viewers, we have come to the end of another exciting episode of The Realtor. I'm sure by now you have an idea as to how you can do your own spaces using the help of professionals from the interior design industry. Until next time, keep it right here on TV 47.
We value your feedback. If you would like to send questions, comments, or suggestions for your favorite TV47 shows, call us on telephone number 0740 047 047 or email us at maoni@tv47.co.ke.